Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive.
Excited to be here.
And for those of you new to the channel, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button, that bell icon too, so you won't miss out on future deep dives.
Yeah.
We really do appreciate your support, by the way. Makes all the difference. And speaking of support, we're always looking for ways to make our content better. So any help is greatly appreciated. You can check out the links below to see how you can help us out.
Awesome.
But on to today's topic.
Right.
We are diving into a fascinating chapter, a look at African and Afro-Indian resistance to slavery in Latin America.
Wow. Lot to unpack there.
Yeah, definitely. And guiding us today is this really insightful academic article. It's called African and Afro-Indian Rebel Leaders in Latin America.
Sounds like a great read.
We're going to be exploring Maroon settlements, daring escapes, powerful rebellions.
It's remarkable, isn't it?
It really is. It's just incredible to think. Over 10 million Africans were forcibly brought to Latin America during the transatlantic slave trade.
That's just a staggering number.
It is, yeah.
But what's even more remarkable is, the countless stories of defiance, of rebellion that emerged from this really horrific period.
Right.
These enslaved Africans were never passive victims.
Oh.
From the very start, they were seen as a potential threat, which is why, Spanish authorities, they actually tried to control the number of Muslim Africans who were brought to their colony.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
They were afraid of the potential for organized uprising.
They saw them as a threat.
Exactly.
So, we see those early instances of resistance.
Yeah.
Like the Christmas Day Revolt in 1521 on Hispaniola.
Oh, yeah.
Which, for those who might not know, is the island that is now Haiti in the Dominican Republic.
Right.
And this revolt was led by Wolof Muslim warriors.
The Wolof people were from the Senegal region of West Africa. And many of them, they brought their Islamic faith with them.
And their revolt, though unsuccessful, it really shows how quickly resistance began.
Absolutely.
And it took so many forms.
Right.
Not just these large-scale rebellions.
It wasn't just about, those big uprisings.
Right.
Enslaved people resisted every day in so many ways. They feigned illness, they poisoned their masters.
Oh, wow.
Set fires, and of course, escaped when they could.
Thanks.
Resistance was a part of their lives.
Yeah, it was a constant struggle.
Exactly.
Speaking of escape, we got to talk about the Maroons.
Absolutely.
Now, the word maroon, it actually comes from the Spanish word cimarrón, which meant wild or escaped cattle.
That connection's so apt, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is. These runaway communities, they were carved out of the wilderness, all about reclaiming that sense of wildness, freedom, existing outside the control of the colonial system.
Absolutely. One of the most legendary Maroon leaders was Benkos Biohó, captured in Guinea-Bissau in 1596, shipped to Cartagena. But he had other plans. Within 3 years, he escaped with over 30 others, including his own family.
Wow.
And founded San Basilio de Palenque.
San Basilio de Palenque, it's remarkable.
Yeah.
It became one of the longest-lasting Maroon communities in the Americas.
Wow.
A real testament to Biohó's leadership.
It's just incredible. After negotiating a peace treaty with the Spanish, Biohó would walk into Cartagena, dressed as a Spanish gentleman.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. The article describes it as con tanta arrogancia, like with such swagger. Can you imagine?
The audacity.
The audacity.
It's like he was saying, look, I'm free, I'm here, you can't touch me.
Yeah, exactly.
He wasn't content with just survival. He was challenging the whole system.
Challenging the very notion that enslaved Africans had to live in fear.
Exactly.
And even though he was later betrayed and executed, his legacy lived on.
It did.
It inspired countless others.
Absolutely.
And Biohó's story
is
just one of many.
So many.
Across Latin America. Enslaved Africans and their descendants rose up.
Yeah.
In Mexico, there was Gaspar Yanga, who established a Maroon community in the highlands near Veracruz.
Right.
In Venezuela, Miguel escaped from the mines and formed a settlement with both African and indigenous people.
And then, there are figures like Joseph Chassoyer in St. Vincent, a leader of the Garifuna people.
Oh, Garifuna.
Such a fascinating group with African and indigenous heritage. Chassoyer led a fierce resistance against British colonists in the 18th century.
Wow.
And around the same time, we have Duddy Boukman,
right,
a key figure in the early stages of the Haitian Revolution.
Oh, wow.
Which, of course, became the first successful slave revolt in the Americas.
Yeah, incredible.
And then there's the Quilombo dos Palmares in Brazil.
Yes.
Led by Gunga Zumba. This wasn't just a community, it was practically a self-governing state.
With over 11,000 inhabitants.
That's incredible.
And it existed for almost a century.
It's amazing. The scale of resistance, the organization, really challenges the narrative of passive victims, doesn't it?
It does. But, it is important to remember that not everyone was enslaved.
Right.
Some even fought alongside the Spanish.
Yeah, like Juan Garrido.
Oh, right.
He fought with Cortez during the conquest of the Aztecs.
That's right.
So, individual experiences could be quite different within this broader context.
Yeah, absolutely. The article also mentions a group of African soldiers who were marooned in North Carolina in 1568.
Oh, North Carolina.
Yeah. Well before the English even established Jamestown.
Right.
They were part of a Spanish expedition.
Yeah.
But ended up stranded and vulnerable to attacks by Native Americans.
That's a story you don't hear very often.
No, you don't. It really highlights the early presence of Africans in this region.
Yeah. It's fascinating. And it also brings up another important point. These alliances that formed between escaped Africans and indigenous populations.
Yeah, the Garifuna people are a great example of that.
Exactly.
They emerged from West Africans who survived a shipwreck and the Caribbean Arawak people on St. Vincent.
It's a blend of cultures coming together.
Right, and their story doesn't end there.
No.
They faced a lot of pressure from European colonists.
Constant pressure.
Yeah, and eventually a long and bloody war.
Yeah.
Led by Joseph Chatoyer, who we mentioned earlier.
Right.
After his death in battle, the Garifuna had to migrate.
They did.
Eventually settling in Central America.
Wow.
It's a really powerful story about the interconnectedness of these struggles.
Absolutely.
The fight for freedom brought together people
of all different backgrounds,
creating new identities,
new forms of resistance.
And that brings us back to the Quilombo dos Palmares.
Yes.
Over 11,000 people.
Thriving for almost a century.
Yeah, right under the nose of the Portuguese.